guys, welcome to Motoroids, the channel where you get no-nonsense, in-depth reviews of all the latest cars and motorcycles. And today I have the Mercedes-Benz GLC 300 4MATIC with me. I have done a very detailed review of this car, and if you want to know everything about this car, you can click on the link above and you'll be taken to a video which, in my personal opinion, is the most detailed out there. Every feature has been explained there. In this video, I'm going to tell you the 10 reasons why you have to go with the Mercedes GLC in this segment, and a few reasons why you can avoid it as well. And the number one reason is, well, it's a Mercedes, and among the three big Germans, there is no other brand which is as desired by us Indians as the Mercedes-Benz. The very fact that it is a triple pointed star is a reason why a lot of people would buy it over other cars. So the features, the performance, the space, the practicality and all of the other things can take a backseat, and the very fact that it has a three-pointed star on its bonnet is a reason enough for a lot of people to choose it over the other two big Germans. Number two, just look at it from the outside. You have some other cars as well. You have the Audi Q5, which is also pretty good looking. The BMW X3, which in my personal opinion could have done a little bit better. Then you have the Volvo XC60 and the Discovery Sport again, which doesn't have as much of flamboyance as some of the other new Range Rovers and Land Rovers. But when you look at the GLC, it's like an embodiment of understated power. The big bonnet, the way it looks, the elegantly muscular contours, everything, the detailing, the car looks stunning from the outside. And if you park all the cars within this segment side by side, it's definitely the Mercedes which takes the cake. Now, apart from the visual appeal of this car, the other important factor that makes it so desirable is the fact that this is the longest among its peers, and also it has the longest wheelbase. So while the BMW X3 is almost as long as this car in terms of the sheer length, the wheelbase inside is the longest, and that really reflects in the amount of space that you have inside. So be it the back seat space or the boot, it is not just a beautiful looking car, it has tons and tons of space for all the occupants. Now, the fourth reason why you should be going with this car is its enormous boot. The boot from the previous generation GLC has grown by 70 liters and is now 620 massive liters. So you can really travel with your family for a very long holiday. And SUVs are generally about practicality, about the ground clearance, about the amount of space that you have inside, about how they can tackle bad roads. And the boot is a very important aspect of that equation. And in that sense, this car is very, very practical. The boot really makes it one of the most practical cars within its segment, and you should go with this if you want a car which you can use with family for going to really long holidays. Now, the fifth reason that I love this car for is its sheer performance, and the 0 to 100 comes in just a shade above 6 seconds, which is phenomenal, especially for the petrol version. Now, since this is just a 2-liter petrol, you'd probably ask as to how this car gets such brilliant performance. Well, this car comes with an intelligent starter generator which is capable of increasing its power output by up to 23 HP and the torque by up to 200 Newton meters over and above the 258 HP of its standard power and 400 Newton meters of torque. So when you press the pedal, not just is the acceleration fantastic, the sound that comes out of that engine is also quite addictive, and for a practical SUV, this car feels really, really sporty. Only the BMW M40i with its 356 HP of power and 500 Newton meters of standard torque is a car which is quicker than this. So while this car does its 0 to 100 in 6.2 seconds, the BMW does it in less than 5 seconds. That car is also a 3-liter petrol, but besides that car, this car is the best performing, and among the 2-liter petrols, there is no other car that can come close to the Mercedes-Benz GLC at this point in time. Now, the sixth reason why you should be buying this car is because of this, and that is the MBUX. And according to me, at this point in time, it is the most sophisticated infotainment system across any car. Forget just the Germans. Across all the cars, this is the most sorted infotainment system that you have. And the icing on the cake is the fact that this car comes with an off-road mode where you have a transparent bonnet where you can look what's underneath the car. And what that means is that while you're soft-roading, you don't need a spotter, and you can go off the road and navigate your way through broken roads or through rough patches without having someone who gets off the car and lets you know what's around the wheels. So that again is a fantastic feature and a reason why you should buy the Mercedes-Benz GLC 300. The seventh reason I love the Mercedes-Benz GLC 300 4MATIC is the fact that it comes with an audio system which is superior to a lot of other cars in the segment. I won't say it's the absolute best because I really love what the Volvo is offering on the XC60. The Bowers and Wilkins system is also in a league of its own, but this system as well, the Burmester system, which is 710 watts and is powered by 15 speakers, is one of the best sounding units out there. And if you're someone who's an audiophile or someone who loves his music and his entertainment while being on the move, then the GLC 300 is also a class apart, and it features one of the best sounding audio systems anywhere within this segment. The eighth reason, and that reason is pretty apparent right here, is the interior of this car. Just have a look at it. The Maybach inspired interior is something else altogether, and these two screens along with the 64 color ambient lighting, these unique AC vents and everything else makes this interior stand apart. You can compare it with any other car in its segment, and I can guarantee you that once you sit behind the steering wheel of this car and experience this interior, everything else is going to fade away, because the interior here is quite special and you really have to experience it to know what I'm talking about. Even if you look at the pictures, you'd realize that the kind of jazz this car has, the tech heavy yet very elegant expression that this car gives is quite unmatched. Now the ninth reason why you should be going with the GLC 300 4MATIC, well, the 4MATIC, this car comes with an all-wheel drive system, and what that means is that when you go off the road, soft roading, or in conditions where traction is not available plenty, it really helps. So it's not just a pseudo SUV, it has a proper all-wheel drive system which would allow you to find traction, and not just when you go off the road but also when you're driving on wet roads or in snowy conditions. It really helps you find traction. It keeps the car in control, gives you ample and more grip, especially when you're going around corners. So having an all-wheel drive system is very important while you're driving, especially an SUV, and it gives you all that much more grip and all that much more confidence, and that's one of the reasons why you should be going with the GLC. Last but not the least, this car is one of the safest cars you can buy out, and safety of course has become a very important factor for us Indians of late, and in that sense this car is loaded to the gills with all the safety features. It comes with a pre-safe system wherein if this car detects an imminent collision, all the safety features of this car are primed to save you, to protect you. And in terms of its safety rating, this car comes with a Euro NCAP 5-star rating. So there is no doubting a Mercedes car for its safety rating, and this car is no different in that sense. It also comes with a collision mitigation system, and it also comes with a few other features like lane keep assist, etc. However, one feature that I would have wanted this car to have and is not present is a full-fledged ADAS system, but I really hope that Mercedes is going to bring those features in its lesser models as well very soon. So those are some of the amazing things about the GLC 300, but like all the other cars, this car also does not come without its own flaws, and it's very important at this point in time that I let you know about some of the negative points of this car as well. The first of those is that if you're someone who really likes to drive, if you want a car in this segment purely to drive, then I would say that the BMW X340i is the car to go for. Pound to pound in terms of performance, in terms of the steering wheel's true nature, in terms of its fun to drive factor, I think the BMW aces the Mercedes by some margin. And if you want to buy a car only to drive yourself, then probably the BMW is the car to go for. This is not the most fun. I would say it is the second most fun car in the segment, but the first most fun to drive car is the BMW X3. Now the second reason why you would probably want to avoid this car is the fact that it's got a firm ride. So as I mentioned, it's a very sporty car, and like some other SUVs which have a slightly squishy ride, this is quite the opposite. It has a very firm ride, which is very good if you want to be driving fast, but on bad patches, on rough surfaces, there is a bit of a vertical movement. So if you want the plushest of the SUVs, then probably this car lacks a little bit. And if you want a plusher ride, then probably there are a few other cars which offer you a more absorbent suspension. Another factor associated with the comfort is the fact that at the back seat, the recline angle is not at an ideal angle. It could probably have been a little bit more reclined, and if it was for me to decide, I would have probably reclined the back seat angle by a little bit more. So that is also one of the reasons why I would probably warn you to avoid this car. If you want the most amount of comfort in the back seat, then the recline angle probably could have been a little bit better. A small but important thing, this car comes with heated seats in India, by the way, and I would rather have had ventilated seats rather than heated seats. So while I really and truly appreciate the fact that it has heated seats, I would have wanted to have ventilated seats as well, and that's another missing feature here. To add to it, a lot of cars which are much cheaper are available with level 2 ADAS, and the big three, the big Germans, are still not equipping their cars, like at least their lower to mid segment cars, with ADAS. And while there are some features here which can be called an active driver assistance system, it's not a full-fledged ADAS system, and that again is, I wouldn't say a deal breaker, but a bit of a disappointment for me, especially knowing that this is a brand new car and it has just been introduced to India. Finally, the one thing that doesn't go in the favor of the Mercedes-Benz GLC 300 4MATIC is the fact that this is one of the more expensive cars out there, except for the BMW X3 40i, which is extremely expensive at 87.5 lakh rupees, which is like crazily expensive. It is the best to drive, but again, it's crazily expensive. This is also one of the more expensive cars out there, and all the other competitors except for the Discovery Sport are in their 60s, like, you know, they are 64 lakh or 68 lakh. Discovery Sport is 71.5 lakh rupees, but this car is around 73 lakh rupees, which is the second most expensive after the mighty expensive BMW X3 3-liter petrol, which is also the most powerful. But I would want to add there that this car is also the most loaded in terms of features. It looks smashing, and all the 10 features that I told you at the outset is the reason why this car is expensive. And as a whole, if you look at it from all the aspects, I really think that this is fantastic value for money, be it the brand value, be it the fun to drive factor, be it the aspirational value, be it the space inside, the practicality, everything. This car is one of the best premium mid-sized SUVs that you can buy. And at this point in time, if you're not looking at a 7-seater among the 5-seater premium mid-size SUVs, I really think that this is one of the most recommendable cars. I really hope that this video was of some use to you in terms of quickly figuring out as to what are the high points of the GLC and what are the low points. And if you liked the video, hit the like button, subscribe to Motorides, and until next time, this is your friend Amit Changani signing off. Rev hard, rev free, and drive safe.